Gina Brown tried to save people of color living with HIV after Hurricane Katrina, but some still died of AIDS. After the storm, she was evacuated to Texas. But 2 years later, she decided to move back to New Orleans. She got a job working at New Orleans AIDS Task Force, or No AIDS.
Because I knew that the HIV community, I'm not like Superwoman or anything, but I knew they needed my help. You know, as a woman living with HIV, I was somebody that a lot of the women already knew and they were already comfortable with. So, you know, we talk about stigma, and stigma is huge down here in the South. And just being that familiar face and voice.
Since Katrina, the growth of No AIDS is phenomenal. They now have 2 medical clinics and are about to open another.
At the time of Katrina, our budget was about a $3 million budget. This fiscal year, and we will have a $37 million budget. Our staff have grown from a staff of 30 at the time of Katrina to this week, I believe we're at 242 staff members. And with that, a great array of skill mix and talent that we have never had as a much smaller organization.
They've even branched out, not only offering services to clients living with HIV/AIDS, but all LGBT people.
We've got space for exam rooms behind the wall here, and rooms for our therapists to work one-on-one with individuals.
But despite the improvements Noelle's made inside, it's outside where the next challenge lies. New Orleans has one of the highest per capita homelessness rates in the nation. Many are poor African Americans and Latinos. So Gina started working with homeless people living with HIV/AIDS. But after 4.5 years, she quit her job.
What I found was I was living my HIV and I was living their HIV. You know, and I had a professor in college tell me, you know, when it becomes more about what you want for a client and what the client wants for themselves, take a step back. And it got to that point where it was more about what I wanted for them. You know, I want you to be stably housed. I want you to be well medically. You know, I want you to take your medication. But if those are not your issues, then I have to respect you and accept you where you're at, meet you where you're at.
It must have broke your heart, though.
It did. It did. It broke my heart leaving No AIDS, because I felt like that was an agency that I knew cared about the clients. I knew it was about the clients. I saw it on a daily basis, you know. I know the kind of work I was doing there, so. This is a good friend of mine. She works here at Walgreens.
But Gina's heart wasn't broken for long. After a few years, she got a job working in HIV/AIDS prevention.
And she did a lot of advertising for us by telling people to come and get tested, made a lot of young people get tested. So these 2 died.
She also went back to school and got a degree in social work, and the following year, her master's.
And then these are also positive. Hello, got free condoms and we're doing free HIV testing today.
Part of her new job includes testing people at this drugstore every Thursday. She'll test anyone, but hopes for as many gay African Americans and Latinos as possible. These days, it looks like New Orleans has never been more prepared for HIV/AIDS. There's Gina's prevention work,
13 exam rooms.
Noelle's expansion at the New Orleans AIDS Task Force,
and exam table.
and Beth's new servers at the Louisiana Department of Health.
We now can access our information still, which is the good news.
But there's one thing they didn't count on. Since Katrina, the epidemic has gotten a lot worse. The AIDS Memorial in New Orleans, it's a tribute to those living with HIV/AIDS. Since Katrina, infection rates have dramatically increased for African American and Latino men in Louisiana. From 2005 to 2014, an increase of over 40% for Latinos and a staggering 87.5% for Black men. 84% are men who have sex with men. And Gina worries what will happen to them if there's another natural disaster. Since Katrina, has anything really changed to address their needs?
If you are a young black male who has sex with men, and you come from a religious family, who everything is beating you over the head with the Bible, and you come out, and the first thing your family does is open the door and kick you out. Now you're vulnerable on the street. You're on the street and people are taking advantage of you.
And that's not the only storm brewing. On average, every 20 to 30 years, New Orleans gets a Category 3 hurricane or higher. Katrina was back in 2005. That means there might be another one just around the corner.
We do this work, and we do this work, and we do this work, and people move. They don't update their phone number. Their address. They change their phone number. They don't update it. So even like to be able to tell them, like, a storm is coming, this is what you need to do. Hello, have free condoms.
So until the next Katrina, Gina Brown will spend every Thursday here, trying to save as many lives as she can. But with soaring HIV infection rates among gay African Americans and Latinos, and a potential Category 3 hurricane on the horizon, the odds might just be stacked against her.
I think for me, what worries me the most is people are still not stockpiling their meds. They're still going, I have my last pill today, and tomorrow is Friday, and I gotta get to the pharmacy tomorrow. But not thinking that if a storm comes, then what? You can be without your meds for a few days or weeks or months. We don't know.